Hello, good evening, and welcome back. Bloomberg Bottoms Out. Yes, it seems that his history of targeting minority neighborhoods, increasing the stop and search, saying that, if you're black, you're a much higher risk. Having non-disclosure agreements with women because of things that he's done, which we're unaware of. He's saying that it was just not liking jokes, he said. Whatever it might be, as true as all of them are, considering he was running as a Democrat, of course, they're not the kind of stances that appeal to the Democratic voters. And now it's gotten to him enough, despite spending hundreds of millions of dollars of his own money, because of course he's a multi-billionaire from his tech entrepreneurship after falling out of Wall Street, I believe, decades ago. And even back then he was censorious with his programs to not include certain words like prick, because he was afraid of lawsuits, and then trying to say, even with gun ownership, not understanding what assault rifles were, thinking they were fully automatic. But that seems to be the case, that people are afraid of things they don't understand, and when you're of his persuasion, you just want to ban it because you're afraid of it, but you don't realise you don't understand it because of the Dunning-Kruger effect. But nonetheless, it's caught up to him, and his spending hasn't helped. So after spending millions on his own campaign, Michael Bloomberg is dropping out of the 2020 presidential race. 3 months ago, I entered the race for president to defeat Donald Trump. Today, I am leaving the race for the same reason, he said in a statement. So admitting failure. Who does he believe will help? Well, he says, Vice President Joe Biden, former Vice President Joe Biden, from Obama's tenure. The issue with that is, of course, although Biden is supposed to be the most moderate, apparently, is that he is clearly losing his mind. The main contender for him is Bernie Sanders, the communist. But again, with a Democratic Party that you think, we're all about quotas and diversity of genitals and skin colour. So then why are you the party of two old white guys? Again, I mean, sure, you got Elizabeth Warren, who was 1024th Cherokee, so that's nice. You've got Pete Buttigieg, he's gay. Wouldn't be the first candidate to be gay. It was beaten out by a Republican a few years back, but we'll ignore that because that's a Republican and they're clearly the devil. And then you got Tulsi Gabbard that they don't seem to support because, hey, she's more for free speech, even though she is left-wing in her economic views. And so she's rather low down, even though she is of Hawaiian descent, and of course also a female and young as well, for what it's worth. But no, so the closest they have is then a charismatic booty judge, which is very fitting considering he's gay. He is the booty judge. So, as he is supporting Biden, he says, I've always believed that defeating Donald Trump starts with uniting behind the candidate with the best shot to do it. After yesterday's vote, it is clear that candidate is my friend and a great American, Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Who's, of course, had his own issues and thinking, like, well, what the hell are you doing with children when talking about you being by the pool and they would rub your leg and watch the hair stand up? Sorry, what? And then when he's messing up his words, repeating himself, saying that he's running for the Senate and not for the White House. It's like, well, hang on. Do you know where you are, Joe? Joe, you're talking to the audience while you're walking away from them. Come on, Joe. Come on, look back towards us, Joe. The cameras are over here. Give it your best shot, Joe. It reminds me of Hillary Clinton having similar issues before, where they can't stay on stage and talk for too long because they tend to get a bit delirious, or they pass out, they're overworked, whatever it might be, they can't handle the stress. So maybe Trump's on speed in order to counter that. Or Sudafed, because it's basically the same thing if you take enough Sudafed. That's why he always sounds like his nose is blocked. So, with Biden not being able to keep himself together, essentially, if he goes into debate, seeing as the Democrats are already trying to tear each other apart, this is giving so much ammunition for Trump, who is so much better as a debater, as someone who's confident and brash, sure, but at least then in a debate he can put his stance across, his views across, and push his agenda much stronger than the other people who won't be able to land their blows because they're not as concise as he is. he's at least able to explain the more complex things in a simple manner. So some would be very snooty and say that Trump is too simplistic, but I think he's able to explain the difficult things in a way that everybody can understand, and therefore he can land those blows so quickly and concisely because he can explain things in such a manageable, digestible way. So now that Super Tuesday's out of the way, which is for the delegates, out of the 1,991 delegates needed to win, Bloomberg got 31. That's why he dropped out. But you got Biden and Sanders close with 494 to 425, and it just drops off from there. Paul Tulsi only on 1. So Biden's made quite a big comeback, given that he did win 10 of the states. And Bernie Sanders was disappointing, considering states like Virginia, which I believe Biden won out, and then Sanders not doing well even in his own home state, which is of course not what you're looking for. I mean, not as bad as Warren, who was third in her own home state, but nonetheless. So they mentioned where it went wrong in terms of money spending. Yeah, here we have just in January, Bloomberg $220 million, and then moving down, Bernie Sanders 26.5, who's now okay with millionaires, but it's just the billionaires because he is a millionaire, which was, I think Bloomberg's done great in terms of fodder against Sanders, saying that they want, like, capitalism is not the enemy of the West. They've tried that in other countries. It's called communism. It's never worked. Then like, oh no. And Bloomberg also saying, yeah, capitalism is great in the West because it's meant even somebody who calls himself a socialist can own 3 houses and be a multimillionaire. And Sanders is going, oh no, wait. So yes, well done, Bloomberg. At least you've landed that against Sanders. So again, whoever goes against him, just say, at least I'm not a communist, and you've got it. But Trump would obliterate Biden if he gets in, and it seems like he's going to. And then Biden trying to say, oh, it'll be just like the good old days with Obama. You're not really voting for me, you're voting for the people around me. And I'm thinking, well, we don't want the good old days of Obama. They weren't doing so well. And now that Trump is trying to form an agreement to pull the troops out of the Middle East, but it'll take 14 months, so it'll be past the election time for his re-election. It seems like that is just him trying to guarantee a second term. He's doing everything that he can to say, well, if he's not voted back in, then you're not going to get the troops pulled out of the Middle East. And most people want to end the wars in foreign countries like in the Middle East. But that's about it for now. Seeing as Bloomberg is out, his money has been moved out. They changed the rules for him to allow him to compete in the debates as well, so he could buy his way in, but now he is gone. So let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think he was ever really a proper contender, or he was just buying out too many memes online and he wasn't actually going where he should be going? He entered too late and it was just too little too late. And with that in mind, who do you think will win out between Biden and Sanders, and who's got the better bet of beating Trump, considering you've got a communist, so you're not splitting the vote at all there, or you've got someone who's more moderate in order to try and scoop up the far left votes as well as people closer to the moderate? Is it the silent majority or the vocal minority? Let me know what you guys think down below, and until next time, have a good one.